I think there may be too many people that want to start a company based on their own consumer experience without like solving a real impactful problem. All the challenge we'll be facing in the future as a society. I think that's not the way we should think right now. We're Outreach Robotics. We develop out-of-the-box robotic solution for drones to be able to achieve impossible tasks. Our work started with forestry biologists right at the beginning when we developed the tree sampling tool. By being in contact with them, we found a lot of other potential applications for drones.
Using robotic to work in conservation was like a natural fit for us. We've always been aware of like problematic regarding like biodiversity conservation. And then the project with the Mamba in Hawaii was just like the perfect project for us to work directly on like trying to save endangered plant species and help people.
I'm trying to get a few more survey days in before you guys get here.
And is the weather nice at this time of the year?
No.
No.
I mean,
no. I mean, it's probably better.
The Hawaiian Islands are some of the most remote island chain in the world. That has led to this amazing amount of biodiversity in Hawaii. So we have 250 species that only occur on our small island of Kauai. You know, of those 250 plants, nearly a third of them are close to extinction. So that is 50 individual plants or less. The web of life is so intricate and complex, and if we don't understand how these ecosystems and interactions between plants and pollinators and climate and all these things work together, we could be losing a lot of knowledge if we lose a plant.
We got in touch with Dan. Well, he kind of Googled us to see, hey, is there a way or does it already exist, a drone that's able to collect plants?
They had already had the leaf sampler, which could collect from the tops of trees, but our problems were a little more complex, right? Because we're working in vertical environments and you can't get a drone right above a cliff. In the past, botanists working in cliff environments would hike out as far as they could on these thin ridges and find trees to tie up to and would rappel using ropes down off of these cliffs. You know, that can be dangerous, and you're limited to the top 100 to 200 meters because that's about as much rope as you have. So when we're talking about 1,000-meter cliffs, it's a time-consuming, difficult process.
So if there's a solution with a drone where you could basically in 5 minutes fly from another cliff to get there and bring back a plant, it's amazing for them. But if you want to reach something which is on a surface, we have a challenge. High wind environment, high disturbances, but you need to get close enough to be able to capture like a very tiny sample. And we had that crazy idea of suspended something with thrusters to be able to reach forward and collect stuff on a vertical surface. So say, hey, you want to start a project with us?
So it closes like both claws so that you can secure your sample in it. It cuts it so that you can just fly it back to the takeoff location.
Besides,
Got it.
Yeah, the Mamba is clearly my favorite projects. It includes so much technology, yet when you look at it and when you control it, it looks so simple.
If you compare drones, their propellers are oriented mostly towards the sky just to fight gravity. The Mamba itself doesn't need to fight gravity to fly. So we orient all the thrusters sideways, so they are directly oriented towards any perturbations. So they are very, very efficient in fighting the wind when you touch an obstacle. It's super precise and it's very steady even in high wind situations.
It allows us to get into places where humans can't go.
You need to make a tool that is able to sustain contact, that is really easy to use so that anybody without any robotic training would be able to use. So we're just trying to develop the simplest tool that will fill all the needs of our clients. You always have a PCB in there just to manage the input that comes through the communication system, goes through the flight controller unit, and are transferred directly to that PCB to control 2 different claws. Having Altium really gives us confidence because we know that if it's doable from an electronic standpoint, like we'll be able to do it with Altium. I consider the EDA program that we use as a pillar for the company. Going forward, as we grow and scale up the company, Altium 365 has a lot of functionality that could really help us.
Sharing design, commenting on them, being able to run the production like very efficiently and ensuring that we'll have all the suppliers that we'll need for those products. That's very, very interesting for us in the near future.
Like people in conservation, it's pretty funny. They're all trying to develop technology, but they're ecologists first. When we were in Hawaii the last time, we collected a plant that they didn't know that it exists, To see those ecologists just look at the plant and with that big smile on their face, it was just awesome to be there to help them perform their jobs.
Yes, sir. Look at that thing. Wow. Nice forward there. I think we're seeing a difficult time in the world with a lot of threats growing, a lot of uncertainty about the future in the environment.
It's still cool to see all those needs that could be fulfilled using robotics.
I do think that the technology has the power to expedite some of the conservation efforts.
We have the power to be able to collect the seeds on the last remaining individuals and be able to reproduce them. And the last step would be to reintroduce them.
And I'm hopeful that with these new tools and the increased efficiency, that we can get species through this time without going extinct, be able to learn stuff from these plants and animals down the line.
It's incredible to see all the opportunities that engineering can help them to do their work.
Thank you for watching Altium Stories. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends and colleagues. By subscribing and hitting the bell icon, you'll never miss out on the latest engineering stories from our channel. Thank you for supporting us and helping us continue to share the impactful work being done by engineers around the world.